The tranquil night sky above Earth was a canvas of twinkling stars, a scene of serene beauty that belied the impending catastrophe. On a routine night at the International Space Station, astronaut Karen Reynolds was conducting her final checks before the crew's sleep cycle. Suddenly, alarms blared, and the serene view of the stars was replaced by a horrifying spectacle. Massive alien warships, sleek and ominous, emerged from hyperspace, their hulls gleaming menacingly in the moonlight. The first sign of the invasion was a series of powerful energy blasts that obliterated the ISS within seconds. Earth's defenses were caught completely off guard. The global satellite network went dark, communication lines severed, plunging the planet into chaos and confusion. On the ground, cities around the world erupted into panic as the alien vessels descended. Hovering above major metropolitan areas, they unleashed beams of energy that incinerated buildings and vaporized anything in their path. The invaders, identified as the Zalaxians, displayed advanced technology far beyond human comprehension. In Washington, D.C., General Marcus Reynolds watched in horror from the Pentagon's war room. The screens before him displayed real-time footage of the devastation. Military bases were the first targets, reducing Earth's capacity for organized defense. Reynolds issued immediate orders for all available forces to engage the enemy, knowing full well the futility against such advanced adversaries. As the initial shock wore off, humanity's resilience began to surface. Civilians and soldiers alike took up arms, forming makeshift resistance groups. Despite the overwhelming odds, people fought back with whatever they could muster, from conventional weapons to improvised explosives. The spirit of defiance, however small, sparked hope amid the despair. In the skies above Los Angeles, fighter jets roared into action, engaging the alien crafts in desperate dogfights. Captain Elena Martinez, leading one of the squadrons, pushed her F-22 Raptor to its limits, weaving through laser fire and retaliating with missiles. Her efforts, though brave, only highlighted the technological gap as alien shields deflected most attacks effortlessly. Light years away, in the concealed colony of Novus, Commander Liara Kim was overseeing routine operations when the emergency transmission from Earth reached her. The distress signal, laden with images of destruction and pleas for aid, sent a chill down her spine. She immediately convened her top officers in the colony's command center. Novus was one of the many hidden colonies established under Project Genesis, a highly classified initiative launched decades earlier by Earth's governments. These colonies, scattered across the galaxy, were humanity's insurance against an existential threat. Equipped with advanced technology and isolated from the galactic community, they had thrived in secrecy. Commander Kim, a seasoned leader known for her strategic brilliance, quickly grasped the gravity of the situation. She addressed her assembled officers, her voice firm and resolute. "The time has come to reveal ourselves. We can no longer remain hidden while Earth falls. Mobilize the fleet and prepare for immediate departure." The colony's hangar bays buzzed with activity as pilots and engineers scrambled to ready the fleet. Sleek, cutting-edge warships, far more advanced than anything on Earth, were prepped for launch. These ships, equipped with energy shields, plasma cannons, and advanced propulsion systems, represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity. As the fleet assembled in orbit above Novus, Kim coordinated with other hidden colonies. Messages were sent to colonies like Elysium and Arcadia, urging them to join the fight. Each colony, with its unique strengths and technologies, was a beacon of hope. The combined force of these hidden outposts would be a formidable ally in the battle against the Zalaxians. Before departing, Kim addressed the citizens of Novus in a broadcast. "Our home, our families, and our future are under threat. We were prepared for this day. We will show the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. We will fight for our survival and for Earth. Together, we will prevail." Commander Kim's voice resonated through the comms, steady and authoritative. "All units prepare for combat. Target priority is the enemy's capital ships. Fighters, engage their interceptors. Let's show them what humanity is capable of." The battle began with a coordinated strike on the nearest Zalaxian warship. Human ships, utilizing their superior maneuverability and advanced weaponry, swarmed the alien vessel. Plasma cannons fired in unison, their blue-white bolts slicing through the void and impacting the enemy's shields. The Zalaxians, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of these technologically advanced human ships, scrambled to respond. Captain Elena Martinez, now aboard the advanced fighter ship Valkyrie, led a squadron of agile fighters in weaving attacks against the enemy interceptors. The new fighter craft, with enhanced shields and weapons, performed beautifully under her skilled command. "Stay tight. Follow my lead," she ordered, as she launched a volley of plasma missiles at an enemy frigate, causing it to erupt in a fiery explosion. The Zalaxians, though technologically superior to the Earth-based forces they had encountered, found themselves struggling against the coordinated and unexpected assault. The hidden colonies had developed weapons and defenses specifically designed to counter advanced alien technology, a result of years of preparation and research. General Marcus Reynolds, observing the battle from a hidden bunker on Earth, felt a surge of hope. He had been informed of the hidden colonies' existence, but seeing their fleet in action was awe-inspiring. "We might just have a fighting chance," he muttered to himself, as he watched a Zalaxian dreadnought take a critical hit and begin to drift, its systems failing. In a daring move, Commander Kim ordered a strike on the enemy flagship. The ship, bristling with weaponry, was the command center for the Zalaxian forces. Coordinated fire from several human battleships overwhelmed its shields, and a well-placed torpedo run by Captain Martinez's squadron breached its hull. The resulting explosion sent shockwaves through the battlefield, momentarily halting the Zalaxian advance. The first strike was a success, but it was only the beginning. Earth's liberation would require more than just one victory. As the Zalaxians regrouped and began to counterattack, it became clear that the war for humanity's survival was far from over. Meridia's atmosphere was dense, and the planet covered in lush, verdant jungles. Eric's diplomatic shuttle descended into the capital city of Tharok, a sprawling metropolis of towering structures and bustling marketplaces. The Thraxians, towering and muscular with scales that shimmered in the sunlight, watched curiously as Arik and his delegation approached the grand hall of the Thraxian High Council. Inside the hall, adorned with banners and symbols of Thraxian heritage, Arik was met by High Warlord Korvac, a fearsome figure clad in ornate armor. Korvac's eyes gleamed with suspicion and curiosity. "Why have humans come to Tharok?" he demanded, his voice a low rumble. Arik, maintaining a calm and respectful demeanor, addressed the council. "High Warlord Korvac, esteemed members of the council, we come with a proposition. The Zalaxians have oppressed not only humanity, but many other civilizations, including your own. We propose an alliance to stand against our common enemy and reclaim our freedom." The council murmured among themselves, considering the offer. Korvac studied Arik intently before speaking. "We Thraxians have long fought the Zalaxians, but never have we had allies. Why should we trust humans?" Arik knew this was the pivotal moment. He spoke of humanity's resilience, their hidden colonies, and the recent victory in Earth's orbit. He highlighted the strength that unity could bring and the shared goal of liberation. "Together we can turn the tide of this war. Alone we may fall, but united we are unstoppable." Korvac stood silent for a moment, then nodded. "Very well, human. We shall join your cause. But know this, Thraxians value honor and strength. Do not disappoint us." With the Thraxians on their side, humanity's alliance began to take shape. Next, Arik traveled to the planet Draconis, home to the enigmatic Draconians, known for their technological mastery and strategic acumen. The Draconian capital, a city of sleek spires and advanced infrastructure, welcomed Arik's delegation with cautious optimism. High Scholar Zarin, the Draconian leader, listened to Arik's proposal with interest. "We have observed humanity's recent actions with great interest," Zarin said. "Your hidden colonies possess remarkable technology. An alliance could indeed be beneficial." Arik emphasized the mutual benefits of shared technology and coordinated strikes against the Zalaxians. "Together, we can combine our strengths and achieve what we cannot alone." Zarin agreed, extending a hand with clawed fingers. "We will stand with humanity. Let us forge a new future together." The combined human and Thraxian fleet, reinforced by draconian strategic intelligence, prepared for a significant offensive. Their target was the planet Nereus, a key Zalaxian stronghold with vast military resources. The battle for Nereus would be pivotal in the war effort. Captain Sofia Rivera, a tactical genius with a reputation for daring maneuvers, was chosen to lead the assault. As the fleet approached Nereus, Rivera briefed her officers. "Our objective is to break through their defenses, cripple their supply lines, and force them into a retreat. We hit them hard and fast." The Allied fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Nereus system. Zalaxian defenses were formidable, with a ring of heavily armed space stations and patrolling warships. Rivera coordinated a multi-pronged attack, using Thraxian brute force to engage directly, while Draconian stealth ships executed flanking maneuvers to disrupt enemy formations. As the battle commenced, the void was filled with the intense exchange of energy blasts, missile volleys, and plasma beams. Human battleships, utilizing advanced shielding and weaponry from the hidden colonies, held their ground against the Zalaxian onslaught. The Thraxians, with their ferocity and tenacity, tore through enemy lines, creating openings for further strikes. Rivera, aboard her flagship the Intrepid, identified a critical weak point in the Zalaxian defense grid. "All units, concentrate fire on grid sector 7G. We break through there and the rest will follow," she commanded. The coordinated assault focused on a vulnerable station, and after a barrage of focused fire, it exploded in a massive fireball, causing a chain reaction that destabilized the entire defense ring. Seeing the tide turn, Rivera ordered a full-scale assault on the surface of Nereus. Dropships carrying human, Thraxian, and Draconian ground forces descended through the atmosphere, engaging Zalaxian troops in fierce ground combat. Advanced tactics and superior morale gave the Allied forces an edge, pushing Zalaxian defenders back. The Zalaxians, unprepared for such a coordinated and relentless assault, began to falter. Their command structure was thrown into disarray, and their supply lines were severed. As key installations fell, the Zalaxian forces on Nereus retreated, leaving the planet in the hands of the Allies. The Arcturian capital was a marvel of technology, with towering structures of gleaming metal and energy. Their leader, High Counselor Valtor, welcomed Arak with measured hospitality. "We have seen the potential of your alliance and wish to contribute to the downfall of the Zalaxians," Valtor declared. Arak, cautious but optimistic, agreed to the terms, and the Arcturians were integrated into the alliance. Their ships, equipped with cloaking technology and powerful disruptors, were assigned to key roles in upcoming operations. Trusting in their new allies, the combined fleet prepared for a critical mission, the liberation of the Elysium system, another vital stronghold of the Zalaxians. As the fleet engaged in the Battle of Elysium, the Arcturian ships initially performed admirably, using their cloaking devices to ambush enemy vessels and create chaos within Zalaxian ranks. However, at a crucial moment, the Arcturians turned their weapons on the human-led forces, causing devastating losses. Chaos erupted as human, Thraxian, and Draconian ships struggled to respond to the unexpected betrayal. The once coordinated assault fell into disarray, and the Zalaxians seized the opportunity to counterattack with renewed vigor. Admiral Isabella Cruz, commanding the flagship Resolute, quickly ordered a retreat to avoid complete annihilation. In the aftermath, the Allied fleet regrouped at a safe distance, reeling from the losses and betrayal. Anger and distrust simmered among the ranks. Diplomat Arak, feeling the weight of his decision to trust the Arcturians, faced intense scrutiny. General Marcus Reynolds addressed the Alliance Council. "We underestimated the treachery of the Arcturians. We must be vigilant and learn from this." The betrayal at Elysium was a harsh lesson. The Alliance had to rebuild trust and strength while remaining wary of potential deceit. Plans were adjusted, defenses bolstered, and intelligence efforts intensified to prevent further infiltrations. Despite the setback, the resolve to defeat the Zalaxians only grew stronger, fueled by the knowledge that they could not afford another mistake. Back on Earth, amidst the chaos and destruction wrought by the Zalaxian invasion, pockets of resistance began to form. These resistance groups, made up of former military personnel, hackers, engineers, and ordinary civilians, operated under the radar to disrupt Zalaxian operations and gather vital intelligence. Maya Chen, a former cybersecurity expert turned resistance leader, spearheaded the efforts in North America. From their hidden base in the Rocky Mountains, she coordinated a network of operatives spread across the continent. Using her expertise, Maya hacked into Zalaxian communication channels, intercepting valuable information and feeding false data to the invaders. One of the most daring missions undertaken by Maya's team involved sabotaging a key Zalaxian supply depot located in what was once Denver. The depot was heavily guarded, but Maya devised a plan to infiltrate it using a combination of stealth, guerrilla tactics, and technological prowess. Her team, equipped with cloaking devices salvaged from downed Zalaxian drones, moved under the cover of darkness. As they approached the depot, Maya remotely disabled the outer security sensors, allowing her operatives to slip inside undetected. Once inside, they planted explosives on critical infrastructure points, including fuel tanks and ammunition stores. With the charges set, Maya's team exfiltrated just as dawn began to break. The resulting explosions sent plumes of fire and smoke into the sky, severely disrupting Zalaxian supply lines and boosting the morale of resistance fighters across the region. The mission's success emboldened other resistance groups, sparking a wave of similar actions worldwide. Meanwhile, Maya's network continued to expand. She established secure communication lines with other resistance leaders, sharing tactics and coordinating strikes. Her team also focused on gathering intelligence on Zalaxian troop movements and technological weaknesses, information that was relayed to the hidden colonies and the Allied fleet. One significant breakthrough came when Maya's hackers managed to decode a series of encrypted Zalaxian transmissions. These messages revealed the location of a secret Zalaxian research facility deep within the Amazon rainforest. The facility was reportedly working on a new weapon that could potentially turn the tide of the war in favor of the invaders. The star core was believed to be a relic of a long-extinct advanced civilization. Dr. Grant hypothesized that it could be harnessed to create a weapon or energy source of unprecedented power. The colony's leaders, recognizing the potential, allocated significant resources to the project, and the research facility buzzed with activity as scientists raced against time to unlock its secrets. The breakthrough came when Dr. Grant and his team managed to interface the star core with their existing technology, creating a prototype energy weapon capable of immense destructive power. The first test of the weapon, conducted in the remote asteroid belt surrounding Avalon, was a resounding success. A single blast from the star core-powered cannon obliterated a large asteroid, demonstrating the weapon's potential to change the tide of the war. Realizing the strategic importance of their discovery, Dr. Grant immediately contacted Commander Liara Kim. The star core weapon, if deployed correctly, could decimate Zalaxian fleets and installations, giving humanity a decisive edge. Kim, understanding the implications, ordered the immediate integration of the star core technology into their fleet's flagship, the Resolute. As the weapon was being integrated, Avalon came under attack. The Zalaxians, having learned of the star core's potential, launched a full-scale assault on the colony. The battle that ensued was one of the fiercest yet. The colony's defenses, though advanced, were pushed to their limits as wave after wave of Zalaxian ships descended upon them. Commander Kim, leading the defense from the Resolute, coordinated a desperate and tenacious resistance. Every available ship and weapon was brought to bear, but the Zalaxian numbers seemed overwhelming. As the situation grew dire, Dr. Grant and his team worked frantically to complete the star core integration. Finally, with the weapon operational, Kim ordered its deployment. The Resolute's newly integrated star core cannon powered up, its energy levels peaking as the weapon locked onto the largest Zalaxian dreadnought. With a brilliant flash, the cannon fired, a beam of pure energy lancing through space and striking the dreadnought. The ship disintegrated in a spectacular explosion, the shockwave sending Zalaxian forces into disarray. The successful use of the Starcore weapon turned the tide of the battle. The Zalaxian forces, now disorganized and demoralized, began to retreat. The defense of Avalon held, and the colony was saved, but at a great cost. Many lives were lost, and much of the colony's infrastructure was damaged. The victory at Avalon, however, was a beacon of hope. The power of the Starcore was undeniable, and its potential to turn the tide of the war was now proven. As news of the victory and the new weapon spread, the morale of humanity and its allies soared. Plans were made to replicate the Starcore technology and integrate it into other key ships and installations, setting the stage for future offensives against the Zalaxians. Humanity, now armed with a new weapon and a renewed sense of hope, prepared for the next phase of the war. The Starcore had given them a fighting chance, and the unified forces of the hidden colonies, Earth's resistance, and their alien allies stood ready to continue the fight for their survival and freedom. As the Zalaxian fleet emerged from hyperspace, the skies above Avalon darkened with the sheer number of enemy ships. Commander Kim, aboard the Resolute, coordinated the colony's defenses. "All units, prepare for immediate engagement. We cannot let them take Avalon," she ordered, her voice steady and determined. Avalon's defense grid activated, energy shields enveloping the colony, while surface-to-space cannons fired relentlessly at the oncoming ships. Human fighters, now equipped with Starcore-enhanced weaponry, launched from the Resolute, engaging Zalaxian fighters in dogfights. The battle was fierce, with explosions lighting up the night as ships clashed above the planet. Dr. Elias Grant and his team worked frantically to secure the Starcore and its research data. The labs were fortified, but the Zalaxians had deployed ground troops who were advancing rapidly. The colony's militia, alongside Thraxian and Draconian ground forces, engaged the enemy in brutal combat within Avalon's biodomes and research facilities. The turning point of the battle came when the Resolute's Starcore cannon, finally integrated and operational, was brought to bear. Commander Kim targeted the largest Zalaxian dreadnought, its command ship, with the weapon. The Resolute's cannon fired, a beam of concentrated energy striking the dreadnought and causing it to implode in a spectacular explosion. The loss of their flagship sent the Zalaxian fleet into disarray. Despite the victory, the battle was far from over. The Zalaxians, now desperate, intensified their attacks. The colony's shields began to falter under the relentless barrage. On the ground, Dr. Grant and a contingent of soldiers defended the Starcore facility from waves of Zalaxian troops. Hand-to-hand combat ensued as the fight grew more desperate. In a daring move, Captain Sofia Rivera led a strike team on a counteroffensive to disable the Zalaxian command relay, which coordinated their fleet's actions. Using advanced cloaking technology, the team infiltrated the relay station, planting explosives and engaging the enemy in close quarters. The station's destruction severed the Zalaxian fleet's coordination, further tipping the battle in favor of the defenders. As the battle raged on, reinforcements from other hidden colonies arrived, their ships emerging from hyperspace to join the fray. The combined firepower of the Allied fleet overwhelmed the remaining Zalaxian forces. One by one, the enemy ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. In the wake of the Battle of Avalon, the Alliance recognized the need for even greater unity and cooperation. A grand summit was convened on the neutral planet Xandria, a central location accessible to all members of the Alliance. Leaders from humanity, the Thraxians, the Draconians, and other oppressed civilizations gathered to discuss the future of their fight against the Zalaxians. The summit was held in a massive hall carved into the side of a mountain, with representatives from each race seated around a circular table. The air was thick with anticipation and hope. Diplomat Jonas Arak stood to address the assembly, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Friends and allies, we have come together in the face of a common enemy. Our victory at Avalon has shown what we can achieve when we stand united. But our struggle is far from over. We must forge a stronger, more cohesive alliance if we are to defeat the Zalaxians and secure our freedom." High Warlord Korvac of the Thraxians rose next, his imposing figure casting a shadow. "The Thraxian people are honored to fight alongside such brave and determined allies. Our strength lies in our unity and our shared resolve. Together, we will crush the Zalaxians and reclaim our homes. High Scholar Zarin of the Draconians followed, bringing a more measured perspective. Our combined knowledge and technology give us a distinct advantage. By sharing our resources and intelligence, we can outthink and outmaneuver the Zalaxians at every turn. Throughout the summit, representatives discussed strategies, shared technological advancements, and forged new bonds of trust. Agreements were made to establish a unified command structure, ensuring that all military actions were coordinated for maximum effectiveness. Diplomatic channels were strengthened, allowing for quicker communication and collaboration between the different races. One of the most significant outcomes of the summit was the creation of the Galactic Council, a governing body composed of representatives from each member race. The Council would oversee the Alliance's efforts, mediate disputes, and ensure that all members had a voice in strategic decisions. This move was seen as a crucial step towards long-term unity and cooperation. Meanwhile, back on Earth, General Marcus Reynolds and Commander Liara Kim coordinated with resistance leaders to integrate their efforts with those of the broader alliance. The underground network established by Maya Chen became a vital part of the intelligence-gathering operations, feeding crucial information to the Allied forces. The unity forged at the summit translated into immediate action. Combined fleets began conducting joint operations, targeting key Zalaxian outposts and supply lines. The Allies' newfound coordination and shared resources led to a series of victories, further weakening the Zalaxian grip on the galaxy. With the power of the Starcore weapon fully realized and the unity of the Galactic Council firmly established, the Alliance set its sights on the Zalaxian homeworld. This operation, codenamed Final Dawn, was to be the culminating strike designed to cripple the Zalaxian command structure and end their reign of terror once and for all. Admiral Isabella Cruz, a tactical prodigy with a reputation for daring and decisive actions, was chosen to lead the combined fleet. The Resolute, now upgraded with additional Starcore technology, would serve as the flagship. As the fleet gathered at the staging area on the edge of Zalaxian space, Cruz addressed her assembled forces via a holographic transmission. Today we strike at the heart of our enemy. We fight not just for our survival, but for the freedom of countless worlds oppressed by the Zalaxians. This will be the hardest battle we've ever faced, but I have no doubt in our resolve. Together, we will bring this war to an end. The journey to the Zalaxian homeworld was fraught with danger. The fleet encountered numerous skirmishes with enemy patrols, but each engagement only solidified their determination. Using advanced stealth technology provided by the Draconians, the fleet managed to evade the bulk of the Zalaxian defenses and approached the homeworld undetected. As they neared the planet, the scale of the Zalaxian defenses became clear. Orbital platforms bristling with weaponry and massive warships patrolled the space around the planet. Admiral Cruz and her team devised a multi-pronged attack to overwhelm these defenses. The plan involved simultaneous assaults on key defensive positions, using the Starcore weapon to break through the most fortified areas. The battle began with a coordinated barrage from the Allied fleet. Plasma cannons, disruptor beams, and missile salvos lit up the void as the first wave of ships engaged the outer defenses. The Zalaxians responded with ferocity, their warships moving to intercept the intruders. The Allied fleet, though outnumbered, used superior tactics and technology to hold their ground. Captain Sofia Rivera led a daring strike on one of the primary orbital platforms. Her squadron of Starcore-enhanced fighters weaved through intense anti-aircraft fire, delivering precise strikes that disabled the platform's main weapons. This allowed larger ships to move in and finish the job, creating a critical breach in the Zalaxian defense grid. Meanwhile, ground forces prepared for the invasion of the Zalaxian capital city. Elite units from all Allied races, including Thraxian warriors, Draconian engineers, and human commandos, were deployed via drop pods. The descent through the atmosphere was harrowing, with anti-aircraft fire lighting up the skies, but the pod's advanced shielding held. On the surface, the Allied ground forces faced fierce resistance. The Zalaxian capital was a sprawling metropolis with heavily fortified positions. Commander Liara Kim, leading the ground assault, coordinated with orbital support to direct precision strikes that opened pathways for the advancing troops. The fighting was brutal, with every street and building contested, but the resolve of the Allied forces never wavered. In orbit, Admiral Cruz targeted the Zalaxian command ship, a colossal dreadnought that served as the nerve center for their operations. The Resolute, with its Star-Core cannon at full power, engaged the dreadnought in a titanic duel. Energy beams and missiles crisscrossed the battlefield as the two flagships exchanged blows. In a decisive moment, the Resolute's Star-Core cannon fired a concentrated burst that pierced the dreadnought's shields and struck its core, resulting in a massive explosion that sent shockwaves through space. With the destruction of their command ship, the Zalaxian defenses began to crumble. The Allied fleet pressed their advantage, driving the remaining enemy ships into retreat. On the ground, Commander Kim's forces breached the inner sanctum of the Zalaxian government complex. The Zalaxian leaders, realizing their defeat, attempted to flee, but were quickly apprehended. The battle for the Zalaxian homeworld ended in victory for the Alliance. The once feared Zalaxian Empire lay in ruins, their leaders captured, and their forces in disarray. The liberation of the galaxy had begun. The victory at the Zalaxian homeworld was a monumental achievement, but the war was not yet over. Scattered Zalaxian forces still posed a threat, and remnants of their empire continued to resist. The Allied fleet, now with momentum on their side, prepared for the final series of battles to completely dismantle the Zalaxian power structure. Admiral Cruz, buoyed by the success of the previous engagement, convened a strategy meeting aboard the Resolute. Our next target is the Zalaxian military headquarters on the planet Zorath. It is their last bastion of organized resistance. Taking Zorath will break their ability to coordinate further attacks. The fleet moved swiftly towards Zorath, encountering pockets of Zalaxian resistance along the way. These skirmishes, while intense, were no match for the combined might and renewed confidence of the Allied forces. Upon arriving at Zorath, the fleet faced a formidable array of defenses, including a planetary shield and a vast network of ground-based weaponry. To penetrate the defenses, Admiral Cruz devised a two-pronged assault. The fleet would focus on disabling the planetary shield, while ground forces would infiltrate the main command complex. Captain Rivera, now a seasoned veteran, was tasked with leading a squadron of bombers to take out the shield generators. As the battle commenced, the skies above Zorath were filled with the flash and roar of battle. Rivera's squadron, flying low and fast, dodged enemy fire to deliver their payloads on the shield generators. The precision strikes caused massive explosions, and the generators began to fail, one by one. With the planetary shield down, the Resolute and other capital ships unleashed a devastating bombardment on the Zalaxian defenses. Ground forces, led by Commander Kim, landed in strategic locations and began their assault on the command complex. The Zalaxians, though determined, were clearly on the back foot, their morale shattered by the recent defeats. The Allied ground forces faced stiff resistance as they advanced. The Zalaxians had fortified the command complex with multiple layers of defense, including automated turrets and heavily armed guards. Using a combination of brute force and tactical ingenuity, Kim's forces pushed through room by room, corridor by corridor. In the heart of the complex, Commander Kim confronted the Zalaxian Supreme Commander, a towering figure in ornate armor. The ensuing battle was fierce, a clash of titans as Kim and her elite soldiers fought the Supreme Commander and his guards. The fight culminated in a one-on-one duel between Kim and the Supreme Commander, their blades clashing in a flurry of sparks. Drawing on her training and determination, Kim managed to disarm the Supreme Commander and deliver a decisive blow. As the Zalaxian leader fell, the remaining enemy forces began to surrender. The fall of Zorath marked the end of organized Zalaxian resistance. The Allied forces celebrated their victory, but they knew that the true challenge lay in rebuilding and ensuring lasting peace. The destruction of the Zalaxian military headquarters was a significant step towards that goal. paving the way for a new era of cooperation and unity across the galaxy. The final push had succeeded. The galaxy, once oppressed and fragmented, now stood united in the aftermath of war, ready to forge a brighter future together. The defeat of the Zalaxian military headquarters on Zorath signaled the end of the war. The galaxy-wide conflict that had raged for years finally came to a close. The Allied forces, composed of humans, Thraxians, Draconians, and other liberated civilizations, stood victorious. Celebrations erupted across the galaxy, from the bustling streets of Therak to the high-tech cities of Draconis. On Earth, General Marcus Reynolds declared a global day of remembrance and celebration. Cities that had been devastated by the invasion began to rebuild, aided by advanced technology from the hidden colonies and their new allies. Humanity had not only survived, but had emerged stronger and more united than ever before. In the heart of the Zalaxian capital, the captured leaders were brought to trial. The Galactic Council, established during the summit on Xandria, oversaw the proceedings. The trials were broadcast across the galaxy, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences of tyranny and oppression. The leaders were found guilty of war crimes and sentenced accordingly, marking a symbolic end to their reign. With the war over, the focus shifted to rebuilding and fostering peace. Diplomat Jonas Arak played a crucial role in this effort. He traveled extensively, meeting with leaders of liberated planets to discuss reconstruction and integration into the new galactic order. His tireless work helped to establish a network of cooperation and mutual support, ensuring that no civilization would face the threat of tyranny alone again. Dr. Elias Grant and his team continued their research on the star core, exploring its potential for peaceful applications. The energy source that had once been a weapon of war now promised to revolutionize technology across the galaxy. Clean, limitless energy became a reality, driving innovation and prosperity in ways previously unimaginable. Meanwhile, Maya Chen's resistance network transitioned to a peacekeeping and intelligence organization. Their knowledge of Zalaxian technology and tactics proved invaluable in tracking down and neutralizing rogue elements that refused to accept the new order. The network's efforts ensured that the remnants of the Zalaxian threat were swiftly dealt with, allowing for a smoother transition to peace. Dr. Elias Grant, now a leading figure in the IRDA, focused on harnessing the star core's energy to explore new frontiers. His team developed faster-than-light travel technology, enabling unprecedented exploration and colonization of distant worlds. The IRDA's efforts led to the discovery of new planets rich in resources, opening up opportunities for settlement and growth. Diplomat Jonas Arak continued his work, now as the head of the Galactic Council's Department of Interstellar Relations. He facilitated treaties and trade agreements, ensuring that all civilizations, regardless of their size or technological advancement, benefited from the new era of cooperation. Under his guidance, the Galactic Council became a model of democratic governance and mutual respect. On Earth, General Marcus Reynolds oversaw the rebuilding of cities and infrastructure. With the help of Thraxian engineering and Draconian technology, humanity's homeworld was transformed into a beacon of resilience and progress. Earth became a hub for cultural exchange, with representatives from across the galaxy visiting to share their knowledge and traditions. Maya Chen's organization evolved into the Galactic Security Force, a peacekeeping entity tasked with maintaining order and preventing conflicts. Her leadership ensured that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated, and that the galaxy remained a safe place for all its inhabitants. As new colonies were established and old wounds healed, the allied races looked to the stars with optimism. The spirit of exploration and discovery, which had been stifled by war, now flourished. Joint missions ventured into uncharted space, seeking out new life and new civilizations, driven by a shared curiosity and the desire to learn from one another.